All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I can't really do a full review, a little busy today, but I at least want to cover Tilray and CGC. I'll probably do the full review on Thursday once the CGC earnings drop, all right? But it's getting a little worrisome on both of these, all right? And I'll probably flash a couple of the rest just to look at them, right? But Tilray now finds itself under all the moving averages, and it seems like we're struggling with that 185 line, right? CGC has now made its way to and actually under the 50 moving average as of today's close, right? So neither's really a good thing, right? And just kind of looking at the rest really quickly, ACB is coming up to basically where CGC is. SNDL kind of looking like the same thing as well. HITI was looking all right on the last video and actually is still kind of holding right now, right? And then MSOS just coming to the 200, right? So it's rough across all, and I will do a full review like I normally do. That was at least a quick, decent run at all of them, right? But you can see the sector needs something. My best answer, and I mentioned it today on Twitter, that's kind of why I'm making this video again. My best answer is CGC on Thursday, right? Like the 30th is when the earnings is. That's probably going to be the biggest thing unless we get unless we get some sort of like political headline, right? So those are kind of the echoing thoughts really across both of these. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So, again, things are a little worrisome. I talked about the DEA candles on the last video, and I'm going to just highlight it one more time, and it's, again, across all of these, right? This was the first DEA reschedulization pop, and we basically lose about 66% of it, right? We come down all the way to there at the lowest on the first point. I'm going to call that 2/3, and that's the remaining 1/3, right? This or this, I'm not actually sure which one it was. It doesn't really matter, right? But one of these two was the next DEA pop, and that was from Biden doing his Twitter post. We not only lose both, we've now actually lost even more of this original one, right? Like we're literally sitting at probably less than 10% of that candle, maybe even just 5% of that left, right? So we've completely wiped out almost the entire DEA hopes and headlines and pops over the course of what, 1, 2, 3, basically 4 weeks, right? You can see, not CGC. You can see that that's basically echoed here, right? Across 1, 2, 3 weeks, we've now found ourselves at basically 5% left as well on CGC. And then again, I'm not really covering the rest, right? But look, we're actually already under, basically at, whatever you want to call it, right? On ACB, so on and so on. MSOS is the most extreme. That's not only gone well below it, it's just, and then some, right? So again, that DEA headline, that Biden confirmation, it just didn't do it on the technicals. And that's look, I'm not here telling people to like convert to technicalism, right? Like that's not what I'm here for. But there are so many like moments in my personal trading where I'm telling you, I would have bitten big on the news. I would have bitten big on the belief. And you heard me say it across the videos, and I'm not taking my comments back. I believe that there are going to be new fundamental just financial changes that come. Again, they'll be even better once it's not even schedulized, right? Once it's completely off the list, right? But There are improvements by coming lower and lower on the schedule till you're ultimately off, and that's like where it is, right? But imagine just being able to get better financing than you could over the last couple of years. That alone makes the numbers look a lot better to me, right? Obviously, it doesn't do great things with income, but hey, if your expenses start to tighten up, that is a positive for stock price on in so many different ways. You know what I mean? So again, I would have bitten into it, but it's these lines, it's these colorful lines, my little manual lines, etc., how I look at the movement, candle versus candle, stuff like that, that helps me kind of keep it all in check, all right? From there, look, I think the technicals kind of are speaking for themselves, right? You break all five and you fly, or you lose all five and you die. And I mean, we are under all of them, right? The 8 is starting to steeply come down, right? And again, the 8 moves basically 3x faster, right? 8, 16, 24. So it's somewhere between that 2 and 3, right? So this was flat, this was flat, this started to go down, the 20 is flat, 20 is flat. I'm imagining the 20 is about to come down, and the last thing I want to see is those two lines heading down. That's a thing Tilray is familiar with, right? These are basically the last two acceptable lines before we start talking about the scary 151. All right. And I think it's still way, 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 way too early to talk about it. But when you lose all five, you die. And I mean, we're on the brink of doing it if this line doesn't hold, right? So there is so much importance on this 185 line. It looks like I can probably draw something around 175, but in a lot of ways, I don't think I want to. Green, 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 red, red, red. Sorry, red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red. Like this is a very fast up and down channel, and I don't think it's worth it. But I would put that 175 in my back pocket for Tilray, but this is an important $1.85 line right here. It really needs to hold, and really we have to get back into this. And I think the problem is 175 or lower just seems a little more realistic than this 197. And that's sad to say, but that's just kind of the truth of it, right? We've slipped into a negative MACD. I'm not really liking this RSI. I don't know. I can't even put my finger on it. It looks like the green's trying to go back up, but I don't know. I don't know. And then I'm not liking this volume at all, right? Let alone the past, I mean, most of May, I've just not liked the volume, right? We've been nowhere near the 50. Yeah, this is troubling. Again, CGC, the earnings will have nothing to do with Tilray. I sincerely doubt that the CEO or CFO is going to even mention the word Tilray, right? But yeah, if CGC does well, maybe that will help here, but I just don't know. You know what I mean? When I look at CGC, this one I feel echoes the rest of them, right? I think CGC looks a lot like ACB. It looks a lot like SNDL. High Tide's obviously that little bit of an outlier, but the concern is MSOS is the one that looks the worst, right? MSOS is already at the bottom, right? And I'm so worried that CGC is going to lose 50 and come down here. Like that, you break this, you go to this. You break this, you go to this. The same way you do it up, it happens. You lose this, you come to this. You lose this, you come to this. You lose this, you come to this, okay? Now, you can't get overly, crazy excited and crazy scared off a single candle, right? This needs to confirm. So if we were to confirm down, I would call it this. I think if we fall into 780 is really far though. I even think I would call it, I think that's too high. I'll give it, okay, 790. I think if this falls into a close of 790, I think from there it actually might be a really fast fall down to 650. 790 is that's a little bit of a scary number, all right? What really needs to happen is this thing needs to recover and close at or above 788. sorry, 888. I need $8.88 or better to start to believe that we haven't lost the 50. Otherwise, like I said, we're going to come into that 790, 780 range, and that's going to be scary. So that's an important dollar right there, 888 to 788, give or take, right? So just watch what happens with the 50 confirmation. Again, we see it, right? ACB is basically testing that right there. SNDL, you can almost say is as well, because it's got some interesting back-to-back dojis going on, right? High tide's is a little bit of the exception right here, and yeah, it's nice to see that it's at least still sitting over all the moving averages. You know, I think I saw Raj post something on Twitter as I was posting my last series of videos. I don't actually know what it was. If it was good news, let me know on this video, right? But hey, if it was just fluff CEO news, whatever, at least the guy's out there working, trying to get some volume out there, right? And that's kind of still the main thing on this thing, right? Volume used to be down here, right? Are we kind of coming back to down here? Wait, it used to be worse, right? Yeah, okay, for sure. We were sub 100K. Look at that. I actually almost forgot, right? Since this is what we'll call like most of the uptrend, right? Like that we can, I'm not here to say bottom. Bottom I think is a really dumb word to use in the stock market, by the way. Trust me with that. But yeah, that's basically where the uptrend starts to go and hold. And yeah, prior to that, we were 150K, 90K, you know, 100K. On a good day, we were 300K, right? All of a sudden, on a bad day, we're still 300K with high tide, right? So yeah, no, I think high tide's a really interesting outlier. And hey, I mean, look, green, red. If this thing goes, it still has a shot at running to 250 from here, right? That's basically an extra 10% gain from where we're at, while I'm talking about losses on the rest, right? So nice little outlier sitting here with high tide, to say the least. All right, so not exactly sure how I'm gonna chapter this when I post it, but hey, appreciate your time so much, and I'll make a more detailed video like I normally do, probably Thursday, like I said. Thank you.